So negative 8, so I was multiplying here, so that gives you negative 8x squared, and x times, that's a 12, 12x. The next row, negative 4x squared, 32x, and negative 48. Okay, so 480 equals x cubed minus 12x squared plus 44x minus 48. I'm going to subtract 480 from both sides to make one side 0. And so that gives you 0 equals x cubed minus 12x squared plus 44x minus, what is it, 528. Okay, so now we're going to factor this and factor by grouping. So this is x cubed minus 12x squared. We're going to try this first. Remember, it might not work factor by grouping, but we still have to try it because this is a quick way of checking. So this is x squared, and then factor out, you get an x, you get a negative 12, 44, and then just check, is 44 times negative 12 negative 528? It is. So you factored it correct. So it factors this way. So then you have x minus 12 times x squared plus 44 equals 0. This factor gives you x equals 12. And this factor gives you an imaginary number. Since we're talking about a real life situation with the, we're looking for the length of something, we can eliminate this for now. It's an extraneous solution. So the only one that makes sense is 12. So x is 12, so that means that the dimensions of the outside of the flower bed are 12 inches by 24 inches, 2x, and then 4x would be 48 inches. Number 9, you have a piece of crafting supply, rectangular piece of crafting supply, where the height is, let's see, the length is 4 times the height, and the width is 2 times the height. So here it is, it's labeled for you. The volume of this piece is 64 cubic inches, or centimeters, sorry. So 64 is 4x times 2x times x, so that gives you 64 equals 8x cubed. We divide by 8, so 8 is x cubed, so we take the cube root of each side to solve for x, so x is 2. So the dimensions of this piece are 2 centimeters by 4 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Okay, so number 10, you have a pyramid glass structure, and the base is a square, and the height is 2 yards more than the side of the base. So that's what you see right here. I know it doesn't look like a square base, but it is. In yellow, you see the height from the tip to the middle of the base, and that's y plus 2, x plus 2. The formula for a pyramid, the volume of a pyramid, is on the screen right there. So let's fill in all the information. So the volume they gave you is 147. The length is x. The width is x. And the height is x plus 2. We're going to divide by 3. So in order to solve for x, first let's simplify this and multiply both sides by 3. That way you get rid of the denominator, like that. So I've got 441 equals, now this is x squared times the quantity of x plus 2, so that leaves you with x cubed plus 2x squared. So moving everything to one side, you get x cubed plus 2x squared minus 441 equals 0, because I moved the 441 to the other side. And this is not a quadratic, so it does not factor like with the x factor or a box method. So we have to use the p's and q's. Now factors of 441 are plus, so this is the p, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 7, plus or minus 9, plus or minus 49, plus or minus 63, plus or minus 147, plus or minus 441. Okay? Now, because we're looking for the length of something, it does not make any sense to use negative roots, like to try negative numbers with synthetic division. So I'm going to start with the positives. I'm going to use only positives. 1 doesn't make sense either, because remember, the volume of the pyramid is 147 cubic yards, right? So if x is 1, there's no way 1 times 1 times 3 that you're going to get 147. And even 3 is too small. 3 times 3 times 5, because 3 plus 2 is 5. That would be too small. So I'm going to start off with 7 and see, it's between 7 or 9. So 7, 1, 2, 0, negative 441. And I could also just plug it in and see 7 times 9, see what I get, but let me go this way. 1 times 1 times 7 is 7, I get 9, 9 times 7, 63, 63 plus 0, 63, and 63 times 7 is positive 441, and so yes, it worked. So the dimensions are the base is a 7 yard by 7 yard, and the height of the pyramid is 7 plus 2, so it's 9 yards. Alright, so number 11, another pyramid, and it says the length of the paperweight is 4 inches less than the height. So here it is. If the height is x, then the length would be x minus 4. And then the width of the paperweight is 3 inches less than the height. So here's x minus 3 right here, and because it's 3 inches less. So the volume of this paperweight is 12 cubic inches. So 12 equals the length, x minus 4, times the width, times the height. So I'm going to multiply by 3 again on the other problem. So this is 36. And I'm going to multiply these two together, so that gives me x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 12 times x. So all of these are going to increase by a factor of x, right? So this is x cubed minus 3, that's minus 7, minus 7x squared plus 12x. I'm going to move the 36 over, so it's minus 36. Okay, so this is, fix this better, minus 7x squared, like that. Okay, so now this does not factor by grouping. So you could try the little box or by grouping them, and it doesn't work. So we're going to have to do the p's and q's. So p factors and q, well, q's plus or minus 1, so we only look at the p's in that case. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 9, plus or minus 12, plus or minus 18, plus or minus 36. So these are all factors of 36. And just like with the other problem, number 10, I'm not going to use any negatives because I'm looking for the length of something. Okay, I'm looking for the length. Something else I'm going to skip 1 through 4 because of the way that it's, there's no way x could be 1 through 4, because if it was 1 through 4, if it was 1 through 3, these would be negatives, right? And if it was 4, this would be 0. So there's no way it could be 0. So I can skip 1 through 4. I'm not going to bother with those. I'll start with 6. And so 1, negative 7, 12, negative 36. Bring down the 1. 6 gives you negative 1, negative 6. 6 times 6, 36. And wow, first try, and we got it. And again, I would have spent more time if I hadn't thought of skipping 1 through 4. Okay? But if you if you look at the example, look at the drawing, you should look at it and realize that okay, 1 through 4 do not make sense. So the x is 6. That doesn't answer the whole question. It's asking for the dimensions. So if x is 6, the base is 6 minus 3, so that's 3 inches by, and 6 minus 4 by 2 inches, and the height is 6 inches. Alright, so here's number 12. It tells you that they have a box, a rectangular box, where the width is 4 inches taller than its length. So if this is the length right here, the width is 4 inches longer, not taller but longer, and then the height is 4 inches taller than its length, than twice its length. So the height is 4 inches taller than twice the length. So the length is x, so 2 times the length plus 4, that gives you the height. So here's the formula for the volume. And so they tell you the volume is 96 inches. The length is x. The width is x plus 4. And the height is 2x plus 4. Now notice that the last factor has a common factor of 2, so I'm going to take it out. So x plus 4, factor out a 2, and I get x plus 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So that's gone right there. And then this gives me 48. So now I'm going to multiply these two, so I get x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8. This becomes 6x. I'm going to distribute the x and move the 48 over. So I have 0 equals x cubed plus 6x squared plus 8x. Remember, we subtracted the 48 from both sides. So minus 48. Okay? Now factors of, now this does not factor by grouping. Okay? It looks like it might because you've got the 8 and the 48, but it doesn't. It's not, this minus here makes it not work. So we have to use the p's and q's. So q factors plus minus 1, p factors plus minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, 48. Okay? Now, because again, just like in the previous examples, these are real life situations with, measurements being positive, I'm not going to try the negative roots. I'm only going to use the positive roots. I still listed them as plus or minus, but in actual practice, I'm only going to use the positives. So try 1. Although it looks like it's going to be too small for 1 to give me 96 inches, but just still try it. So it's going to be 1, 6, 8, negative 48. Bring down the 1, 7, 15, and it's not going to work, right? It gives you negative 33. Try 2, 1, 6, 8, negative 48. Bring down the 1, 2, 8, 16, 24, positive 48, and 0, and that one works. So the dimensions of the box, if x is 2, is 2, and it's what's a unit? Inches. 2 inches. 2 plus 4 is 6 inches. And then 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8.